Hey gang, Joyce with Skipping Calves Farms here. Looks like daughter just came over from the neighbor's place to get some water, and I was just over here next to the sour oranges. Now look down, and this is what I'm seeing. Now we're towards the end of September. And what are we looking at? Well, what we're looking at here is some old chicken manure, or sheep manure from when I had the sheepfold located here for 3 to 4 days earlier in the spring. And at that point in time, we were getting a lot of rain. The grass was really lush, and I was moving the sheepfold every twice a week to try and keep them on clean ground. And a month or so into that process, maybe a little longer, I'm a little slow. I can be, as dumb as a rock. Well, I went to school for 6 years to get rocks in my head, so might as well use it for something, right? A hat rack, that'll work. So anyway, I was moving, and all of a sudden, after the beginning of the end of the spring, we hit the dry season, and stuff stopped growing. And so the manure was no longer getting broken down and utilized or incorporated. The dung beetles that population dropped off significantly. And so I'm looking at the whole summer, fall, and winter trying to graze 2 sheep on less than 3/4 of an acre, and twice a week I'm burning up a couple hundred square feet of that pasture. The numbers didn't look good and didn't work well. So what I started doing a couple of months ago was about the time I had the issue with a dog coming over and coming after my sheep, trying to get through the perimeter fence. The sheepfold was close to the perimeter fence. He didn't get to them, they were inside. But it was kind of a wake-up call. That's the word I was looking for. So anyway, I decided that what I would do is just take a certain portion of the property and you consider it a sacrificial space. And so I did a long, narrow alley all the way across from the semi over there, this side of the grape orchard, and along the edge of the road, and I've been moving the sheepfold, but not twice a week, maybe twice a month or once a month. But what I have been doing is I've been picking up the manure. So, because I don't want that manure to build up there like it did here. Even though I'll put you on hold for just a moment and I'll walk you over there and I'll show you what we're looking at this time. Okay, so here we are at the side of the sheepfold, and that's my neighbor honking at me. And as you can see, I've got the gate door propped open. I have it propped open to the inside on purpose. I want the sheep to get used to moving it that way. I don't know if it's Bud Williams or just a generally understood livestock handling technique, but animals prefer to have the doors or gates open to the outside. I'm much more likely to go through it. And that is true, because the sheep will come up to me in the morning, and when I open the gate, they're standing on the inside of the gate right there, and so I have to kind of use the gate to push them back. But they're used to it now, and they just kind of go, okay, Mom, we'll go around the other way. What we're looking at here now is the sheep have been, this is the second time this summer the sheepfold has been at this location. It was moved from here. It was moved from here to next door, and then back to here. And it's been back here about a week and a half. And as you can see, the ground is just getting beaten all to the dickens. I mean, it's getting beaten up pretty bad. And of course, it's been pretty dry. And you can see the manure here in the sheepfold. Now, the manure that's here is here from last night and yesterday. I cleaned it up yesterday, early-ish in the day, and picked up all the loose manure I could see. So this is all one day. And basically what I've decided to do was, I don't want all that manure here to build up. I don't want it to burn the ground. But I don't want to lose the fertility either, so I've just got myself a bucket, a dustbin, a small hand trowel, and I've recently started using this old broom. What is it? It's not. It's a straw broom. I forget what the term for it is. And why? Well, now that this whole area has pretty much gone to dirt, it makes it a whole lot easier to clean up the little raisin droppings. That's what I call them. Chocolate covered raisins. So what I can do is I can use the broom, and I can use it at a real steep angle like this, and just gently go back and forth and get those raisinettes all to pile up over here, and then just scoop them up with the dustbin. Because if you're planning on having a farmstead, homestead, ranch, or whatever, and you're planning on making any kind of a profit, and it's a smaller property, I can tell you right now, you're going to have to be very, 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 very good at what you do. Because of the small scale, one of the biggest expenses is going to be labor. And I'm retired. I'm not getting paid for my labor. I'm not looking to make a profit on my property. So at this point in time, cash flow is a real issue for me. Labor is not. What am I going to do? I got no place to go and nothing to do, so I'll just do it by hand, right? So that's what I'm doing. So I'm picking up all this manure and I'm piling it up over in the back corner, back by the Johnson Sioux bioreactor IBC container. And what I'm planning on doing this winter is I will redistribute that. we tend to get a good bit of rain in the wintertime. You stop and think it's the end of September. The leaves have not totally dissipated yet, but they're starting to come down. That is nature's fertilizer. Every year, the trees drop their leaves and they recycle the nutrition. And nature takes that and through the winter recycles the nutrients and the trace minerals back into the soil so it's not lost. And so from that perspective, that's what I'm planning on doing with the sheep manure. It achieves opposing goals for me. By picking it up from the sheepfold, I'm able to keep the sheepfold in one place, minimize the disturbance damage, so I'm not losing, 200 square feet or 400 square feet every week of grazing space. But at the same time, I'm not losing all of that fertility. The other thing is sheep like to have a campsite on a higher section of ground. And as you can see, about the highest place on my property is right here along this fence line. So the sheep, even though they're closer to the road, that's good from the standpoint of you get cars driving by. If you had coyotes or foxes or something like that, that might disturb them coming in. Well, foxes are going to go after a sheep, but and really a coyote's probably not either, not through the fence, but they'd go after a lamb. The idea is not to necessarily bulletproof everything from every predator, but just make it just enough just like a lock. A lock isn't going to keep a thief out of your house. What it is going to do is it's going to deter them from hitting your house first. If your neighbor's house isn't locked, they're going to go in there before they're going to go into your house, right? So that's the kind of thought process you want to have when you're trying to defend your animals or protect your property or improve the soil or deal with opposing goals. So I want to keep the manure on my land, but I'm not going to be able to keep it when and where and how the sheep are doing it in the sheepfold. So this winter I've got about a yard of chocolate covered raisins piled up over there by the IBC container. And so this fall, as the seasons change, I'll just go and spread that out over the property, and I'll start with this section that's been gotten a lot of traffic. It can use the fertility. It's on a high elevation, and so if it does wash, it'll wash down into the pasture and across the whole property before it leaves my property. And so that's just some of the thought process, some of the things to kind of be aware of. And I started out this video, and I started out showing you with the broom. Even though I'm not trying to make a profit, I still have to try and be as effective and efficient as I can. So by doing this with the broom, now that most of the grass is gone, I can clean up this area in about half the time that it took me when it was all lush and green and growing. So the sheep are happily grazing next door. They like their short weeds a whole lot better than my tall grass. But my tall grass is going to be their standing hay for the winter. So that's a good thing too. And with that, gang, I will wish you blessings for the day, and whatever you do, just keep chasing your dreams.